good evening, Iiumfm, and Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the first ever show I'm going to be hosting here on the radio. I decided to call this show Friday Night Live. I know, how very original. Woohoo! So, so I'm going to be your DJ for the show. My name is AAA, okay, or AHMAD, but I prefer going by AAA. Today is a very special topic. It was after much debate that we came to this topic. Is going to be actually, before we talk about today's topic, let's do a little bit more. Let's do a little bit more about the show. Okay, we'll hype it up a little bit. So this show, it's called Friday Night Live for a reason. We want it to be fun and entertaining as well as informative, and we want people to want to watch it. Like, it's unfortunate that Iiumfm doesn't have as much fans as it is, as wanted, but we want to make it a mainstream thing. We want people to be like, yo, I need to go back at this time because I need to tune in for the show, yo. So yeah, this is exactly what we want to do. I also don't want it to be too formal. I want it to be relaxed. I want my guests to enjoy their time here. And yeah, we just want to have fun, help each other out, and have a good time. So for this show, guys, right now, those who are watching me, I'm live on Instagram, so you guys can catch me there. The tag, my Instagram username is DJ underscore AAA. And you guys can catch me there on Instagram. We're going to be live every Friday from 6 to 7 p.m. And we're using Instagram as the platform where you guys can have a Q&A session with the guests. Ask them whatever questions you want. If you guys know me personally, don't be afraid to hit me up personally on Instagram or WhatsApp or wherever to ask me the questions that you want, and I will go through them. And if I can ask it, I will ask it. Please, PG-13 people, come on. So yeah, let me see here. I have in my the yeah, guys. So I should tell you that this is the first time I'm doing a radio show. So please be aware of all the cringy silent moments and the technical difficulties that we're going to be having on this program. It's just it's just how it is. I'm sorry, but I will get better as time goes by, because I'm doing this, like I said, every Friday for 10 weeks. So please stay tuned. And we're going to go, we're going to have a little bit of a small break here until the guests are ready to speak about our topic and all of that. So guys, we're just going to have a small break, and then we'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Assalamu alaikum, everybody, and welcome back. So guys, we have an interesting topic, as I've said before, for you today. And right now here in the studio, I have two of my really awesomest friends here in UIA.
Hello.
So we have Lamha and Iman, and I'd like them to introduce themselves a little bit more in detail. So let's start with you, Lamha.
Oh, hello guys.
Assalamu alaikum.
My name is Lamha. Okay, I'm just going in detail, okay? Okay, you all can call me Lamha. I've been here in UIA for like 2 years. 2 years. Completely 2 years, yeah.
2 years. 4 sems.
Congratulations.
4 semesters.
I guess.
Okay.
Don't do maths with me right
Okay,
now.
this is not maths, okay.
I don't care.
Anything that involves numbers, we lawyers can't do it, okay? So please.
Okay then.
Yeah.
I'm from Maldives, and I'm a law student with we both are law students.
Yeah,
we're cool people.
So cool.
You want to say anything about yourself?
Are you done? No?
Yeah.
Are you done?
I'm done.
All right, so
Okay.
now we have Iman.
Hey y'all. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Good
Tell us-
evening, everyone. So, my name is Iman. I'm also in iCall together with Lamha over here. and I'm a friend of Triple A. Guys, I gave the name. If you hear anyone says otherwise,
there might be people that disagree with you with that, but we'll get
sure. A couple of people gave the name Triple A, okay, because of the batteries. Anyway, I'm from Malaysia. Represent.
Yes, Iman is going to be our local side of the argument here, and Lamha will be the international side. It's gonna be an interesting topic for you guys. So you guys are probably wondering, what is this topic that we're just like hyping up for so long now? So this is a quite juicy topic that we don't really talk about here in UIA, do we? Like maybe we do on like friends level, but we don't really at a more how do I say it, administrative level or like a solution level, I guess. So this topic, guys, we're going to be talking about racism, right? So we think that it's important for us to talk about it because, it
has to be addressed.
It has to be addressed, exactly.
At some point, definitely.
Yes, definitely. Now let's see. Let's talk about it. Let's put this scenario here.
Yeah.
Some person goes to class. He's, just first time for him to attend any classes here, and then the teacher says everybody go to make groups and everything, and then everyone's already formed their group, and then this guy is left out. So this
oh my God, that's me.
All right, so we have someone here. So it starts off.
That's easy.
I mean, Iman, you didn't have to go through that. Like, probably.
Not really, because I'm more like everyone wants me, so I just keep myself available.
No,
okay. That's not true, guys. That's not true. That's not true.
All right, so you said this happened to you, Lamha, right? So
yeah.
Tell us about it.
So I guess it was in my first semester, in my MLS class, I think. So everyone,
Malaysian legal system.
Yeah, everyone was asked to form groups of 3 or 4, and everyone just got together, and there's me all alone.
Okay.
And then I told my lecturer, and then he's like, "Okay, then do it alone."
Oh
wow! You actually had to do that.
Wait, your lecturer didn't even ask you to like join another group?
No. He was just like,
Are
"Do
you
it alone."
serious?
Yeah.
God damn.
And all those people, they know each other because they all came from CFS, and they're like best friends. So yeah.
So you were left out.
I was left alone, and I had to do the assignment all alone in my first sem.
And how was that?
It was pretty hectic. It was a 15 pages assignment, I think, and to do that all alone in Malaysian legal system. I mean,
That sounds like I'm not a law
Malaysian,
student,
so-
but that does sound pretty complicated.
Very complicated.
Okay then, like for this first section, we want to talk about. We don't want to really concentrate about the issue in UIA per se. We want to talk about it in Malaysia, and like, I want to ask Iman this question.
Yes.
All right, Iman,
Yes.
do you think this is an act like racism? Do you think it's a real problem here in Malaysia?
Yes, definitely. Okay, so bear with me, guys.
Yeah, okay.
Basically, back then it was not really that of an issue. Okay, like people live together harmoniously. They don't really look into the race. But I believe, in my humble opinion, you correct me if I'm wrong, and you can disagree with me. But it started because of political agendas, Yeah, but I believe that from where I grew up in, Johor Bahru, whoop whoop, we didn't have this issue. But then once I finished school and I started moving to KL and other parts of Malaysia, and I can see that, it is an issue. Somehow that between the races that we have in Malaysia, okay, the major ones like Malay, Chinese, and Indian, right? There are issues there, and I'm not just saying on one race. All of the races, they're like discriminating each other. Sometimes like the Malays towards the Chinese and Indians, the Chinese towards the Indians and Malays, and the Indians towards the Chinese and Malay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in a situation where you've been discriminated?
Yes, I have. Not before I got into IUM. It's after I got into IUM.
Oh.
So that's where it started. I started to see that, okay, racism can just happen to almost anyone if you don't somehow fit in, I guess. Yeah.
That is.
So.
Yeah, that's disappointing to hear. I have to
Very,
say.
very disappointing.
Like you'd think that like Malaysia being a Muslim country, like this will be a less of an issue here, like than you hear in the United States and UK, where it's a really big problem.
Yeah, the fact that we're already multiracial.
Yes, exactly. Like and like being like born and raised here in Malaysia, I never really actually seen this problem when I was a kid. Like people really lived harmoniously.
Yeah, back then, even when I was younger, it was not an issue. And slowly, as like I say, political agendas, I guess. It's always like that.
Okay. Lamha, now I want to ask you the same question. Have you personally, or a friend of yours maybe, have they been in a situation outside in Malaysia where they have been like racially discriminated against or something? Sorry, not outside Malaysia. Outside UIA.
Oh, okay.
My bad. Where they have gone through an issue and like how did they solve it and what happened basically?
For me, I think because I came to Malaysia just for UIA, right?
Yeah.
So I don't have much experience on these kind of things outside UIA.
That's very good.
Because
lucky you.
I don't really go outside UIA and see people fighting, I guess.
Hashtag no social life.
No, I do, but then it's just I don't come across these kind of situations outside UIA.
Okay. Okay, I like racism isn't really a one-way street here. It's a two-way street.
Yes.
And if it's a problem happening from Malaysians to international, then it means the opposite is also true.
Yes.
Have you guys
definitely.
ever like seen it, like where the issue has like, okay, there's internationals, foreigners, and they have also acted in a racist and a discriminative way against Malaysians here in Malaysia, Iman?
I have not witnessed first-hand witnessing it, no. But the other way around, yes, I have. But I've heard of a couple of stories here and there, of course. But I guess it's because of the stereotype that people have. We have this saying in Malay, rosak susu seblanga kerana nila setitik. Basically, okay, direct translation, it's when you have a pot of milk and then you drop... nila is something like a food coloring, I guess.
Okay.
Okay, so you drop one drop of it and then it will spoil the whole pot of milk.
I see.
So goes back to stereotyping, and just because one person did this doesn't mean that everyone from that society or from that race, that community did it as well.
That's very true.
So, but because people, I want to say it's human nature, but somehow you can avoid from being judgmental, But I guess it's in everyone to be judgmental, to be a little...
I guess everyone has a degree of judgmental. Okay.
Yeah.
Lamha, what about you? Is there anything you'd like to share? A story you've heard, maybe?
Of Malays being
No,
discriminated?
the other way around. Internationals being discriminated, discriminant?
To be discriminative towards the Malaysians.
Discriminative, yes, that's the word.
No, I haven't heard. I haven't heard. Okay, to be honest, I haven't heard. But then obviously there is. But then I've heard like Malays being discriminative to Malays.
Yeah,
Because-
it has that as well, definitely.
Because one person is an Indian Malay, so the Malay doesn't
so
like the Indian
it comes
Malay.
back to the three major races.
Yeah.
in
It's
Malaysia.
just the one
Yes.
Iman mentioned.
Yep.
Actually, to be honest, like I'm surprised that you haven't seen it. Like because I personally have seen internationals being
Discriminative.
yes.
Oh.
I feel like it's more of a cultural problem. Like the difference in culture causes. I think we studied this. I think it is ethnocentrism. Like they think their way is the better way. So, and that's where that's where it comes. So, anyways, guys, we're going to have a small break, and then we're going to come back with more questions for our guests, and then this is where you guys can come in and ask them questions personally.
Ask questions.
Yes. So you guys can hit me up on Instagram or WhatsApp and send me your questions, and I will ask it directly to them, and you can hear them answer the questions. So,
but we won't answer all the questions. Thank you.
We definitely will not answer all the questions. We'll have to pick the select few, especially the ones that we can't be too. Yeah, I guess we can. We all know what we need to say. So yeah, we're going to go for that break now, and see you guys when we are back. And
okay, we'll be back soon.
Like I
We're
told
on
you
the
guys,
way
the technical
to get
difficulties.
back.
I told you this is gonna happen, so
No worries.
It's all good, guys.
it's all good.
It's all good.
And Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to the show, guys. We have the Q&A session right now. We're going to be, I'm going to be asking some of my own questions to our guests, and some of our viewers will be asking some more guests. So, guys, since you guys have Instagram on your phone, can you please see if someone's asking more questions? Thank you.
So far, that's it. May has asked a question which we will actually address, May, later on. But yeah, good question.
So we
It's
will.
the best question so far. Thank you.
No. All the questions.
All
are
the
great,
questions
don't
are great, guys.
worry.
All the questions are great. No discrimination here. So right now, we're going to first we started off about racism in Malaysia. Now we're going to talk about it here in UIA, right? Okay. So I want to ask Lamha first. Lamha, do you feel that racism is a really big problem here in UIA?
I think
Why do you think so?
because I have seen. Okay, let's first go to the office.
Okay. We're going to the administrative side first. Okay.
Straight into administrative side.
Okay.
Okay, so I feel like the office, they have some things against Arabs, I guess.
I guess
Well,
so.
Right? I mean,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, I get it. Okay, sometimes they do act like
I
very,
understand that very much. Yes.
yeah. But then again, them being adults, way more adults than us, I think they need to consider what they tell to us as students.
Basically, role models.
Yeah, they have to be role models.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's actually
Like
a very
when
good
we go
point.
to complain and then they ask us to go live somewhere else. That's no.
That happened actually to you?
Yesterday.
Wow. Okay. No, I'd like to hear about that.
Okay, no, we were actually getting compounds.
Oh. Okay.
Rukaya being
Yeah,
compounded.
Rukaya being compounded
Left and right.
basically.
Yeah. Okay. No, nothing new there, but I'd like to hear it as well.
Okay, so our argument was that we pay for our own electricity, right?
Yes.
So they were like, okay, why don't you go and live outside then?
So yeah.
So yeah.
That does not make any sense. Okay, I see your point. Okay, so I'm going to ask the same question to Iman. Iman,
Yes.
is racism a problem here in UIA?
It is definitely a problem, and as a local myself, I've experienced it. Okay, and I've seen it firsthand in terms of like how the internationals are being treated and how the locals are being treated. All right, so it's easier for me because I can speak Malay.
Yeah.
Right, so I just get it done with.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay, she can speak Malay, sure, like we can understand better and so on.
Okay.
Another thing is, I guess, so it's because of the language barrier, but it shouldn't be a problem, honestly. You know, you don't have to approach someone in such a manner where you're like very, you know, when you're with that authoritative presence you have, and then
Okay.
you know,
I understand what you're trying
you
to say.
try to show the superiority in there. That's why. Anyway, I've experienced it as well, and it is a major issue because, yes, I'm friends with both locals and also internationals. And it hurts me sometimes that it's very frustrating that it's hard for just the administrative side and everything to treat people like how, you know, you just treat a friend. Just treat another human being, you know,
Yeah.
without looking at the background of the person. Like after
Like the
all,
skin
like
and all.
yeah, after
We're
all,
all
if you're a
humans.
student, you're a student. Yeah, that's it.
So, you have something else to add?
It's just like if you're a student, you're a student. If you're a human being, you're a human being. You know, it's not much difference. And then again, guys, if you pride yourself in being a good Muslim, like, shouldn't that be the first thing that you know?
That's a
you have
very
to
good
work
point you
on?
bring up there, the Islamic perspective. We're actually going
Yeah.
to talk about that later on. So I actually wanted to ask you this question, guys. Like, the racism here in UIA, do you think it's a problem at the administrative level, or do you think it just comes down to the students themselves dealing with themselves? Lamha?
I think it's both actually. Not
Yeah.
only the administrative side, also
Okay.
the students.
Yes.
Okay.
Mostly, okay, administrative side, let's keep it aside. Among
Okay.
students, first of all, they need to know what they're doing first. Like, they are being racist to each other. They are being this. And then they go and complain, okay, this guy in this office is doing this. First of all, I think they need to, like, you know, clear themselves up before pointing fingers to
So
other
basically,
people.
like, they're being hypocritical.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And Iman, what is your thoughts on this?
Same as Lamha, actually. It's both, honestly. Again, like I said, if you pride yourself in being a good Muslim, reflect, you know, guys.
That's very good point.
It's unreasonable, like, for you to just simply pass judgments like that.
Okay, so what we're going to ask next is, if you think that that both are at fault, what can, like I know it's a difficult question to ask, and you know we're like, I'm not gonna say we're just students, because students can do a lot. Okay, we can do a lot of change if we really want to, but what can we students as do, or what can UIA as administration can do to help tackle this problem and you know help I don't know, bridge
It's very, very tough.
yeah,
The
I know.
solution, it's tough,
Solution
yeah.
is really...
Like, but if someone was to come and tell you, okay, you're going to have to come up with a solution, just a quick solution, what would be your first thing?
It's really tough. Like,
Start with you, Iman.
if I were asked to come up with something real quick, I won't be able to do it. I mean, it takes a long time. I believe that we've been trying to do this back then, even to eliminate this, to, you know, prevent racism and so on. But clearly, it takes a very long time, you know, to change mentality, especially.
Okay, so let's, instead of going at the solution, let's start a little bit before that. In order to fix something, you know, how you need to know
Step by step.
step by step, and you know, like, for an illness, for you to know how to cure it, you need to know, you know,
The source.
the disease, exactly, the symptoms and all of that. So what would you say is the cause of racism? Like, why would people need to be racist to one another?
I think it's what people have been taught when they were brought up. Like, okay, this kind of people are like this, so don't go for them. Like, if, okay, that guy is black, so... And
Yes,
it makes an impression like, okay, he's like that, he's a bad guy. I think it's how we were brought up and what we were told. So we are just stuck to that, and we don't, like, care to know more about them.
That we actually studied that in communication. It's a good point right there, Lamha.
I think, like, what we can do is just to broaden your mind and, you know,
we just
lower
need to-
down your ego and all that.
Just accept people how the way
Yeah.
they are. I mean,
So
no one is perfect, right?
So basically, as a quick and simple solution, people just need to be a little bit more open-minded,
Yes,
accepting of the
definitely.
differences,
Definitely.
and
Especially, like, in our university, the name itself, it says International Islamic University.
Exactly, yeah.
that's actually a
So
very
the
good
name
point.
says it all. So you know that if you're coming here, you're gonna encounter with people from different background and, you know, different ethnicities, different race and everything. So coming into this university, you should know already what to expect
True.
with an open mind.
That's very true.
Yeah.
I do want to ask you, Lamha, one more question. As an international here in UIA, have you ever gone through, like, have you ever had a situation happen where people have been racist to you?
To me, no,
To you.
because I think some people think that I'm also Malay.
Oh, okay.
The
She's my
Indian
sister.
Malay, you know.
Oh, okay. All right.
So like
Mama.
some people they'll just talk in Malay and I'll be like, okay.
So you
But
think
then-
you can understand them, and then
I can a little bit now, you know, like
oh, and of
So
course.
don't
now.
talk
I mean,
bad-
like when they approach you and then they start
bad
talking.
things about Lamha.
I mean, like when they start talking to you, they assume you're Malay.
yeah, they assume.
Okay.
And then when I say I'm not, some people like they're like, okay, no, you are still Malay. I'm like, okay. But then I have encountered, like I have seen other people being treated just because they were from a certain country or they were from a certain background, basically. So I have seen that,
I
In
actually-
UIA a lot.
I actually have encountered, but thank God I haven't encountered it in UIA. I have encountered it outside, actually. I was with a friend. He was black, African.
Yep.
And then it was before Grab. It was like when I was in high school. So we were just getting a taxi. And then the taxi, I was stopping him. And then he was like, I was stopping the taxi, and then I was like, I was getting in, then my friend was getting in. I was like, no. Like, I think he was like something like hitam, something like that. Like, black, I won't take black guys or African guys in my cab or something like that. Then we were like, it was like, you're angry and you're sad at the same time.
Yeah.
Because
true.
it's not a situation that anyone wants to be put in at all. So anyways, guys, we're going to have another small break, and then we're going to come back with a little bit more.
We need to answer the questions.
Oh
There are
yeah!
some great
Oh my
questions.
God! Right. Sorry, I'm very sorry about that. Actually, we do not need to take a break right now. We'll just keep on going then.
Sure.
Why not?
Sure.
Okay, so if that's the case, we have a question here. We'll start with the simpler question. The question says, has racism always been there in Malaysia? Iman.
Yes, definitely. It has always been there. Not to say forever, no. Like I said, earlier on, there was no racism at all. Maybe just 1% or 2, like a very small percentage of racism.
When do you think did it become such an epidemic?
Politics, man. It's all politics.
Yeah, because of
yeah.
this, the privileges of Malays,
Yeah.
Chinese, Indians. Yeah.
Yep. See, she knows. She knows.
Lamha is going in deep, like holy God.
She has the federal constitution here, the Malaysian
Oh, the
federal
Malaysian-
constitution.
I see. Okay, so she knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all because of that. But yeah, I don't know. It's just that even though with the articles mentioning the provisions, like still people lived together harmoniously, like just without caring if you're Chinese
Yeah,
or you're
yeah.
Indian, and with neighbors and everything. And then suddenly everything just changed because the rise of politics again.
Here's actually another story that used to happen to me when I was a kid. Like back then, Arabs, to be honest, were respected.
Yes,
They were
actually,
actually
yes.
very respected.
Very respected.
Yeah.
Like when we first came here, like in 1990s, like my father used to tell me that he'd be walking on the street and then people would randomly come up and shake his hand.
Yes.
Because to Arabs, they're either in Azhar or sheikhs,
Or
they're
sheikhs,
pious
definitely
people.
a sheikh.
Exactly. And then I have to say, as internationals, guys, we did not give a good reputation for ourselves as Arabs. I'm not going to say as international. As Arabs, we did not give a good reputation for ourselves. We have a street named after us. So
That's
enough
true.
said. So there's that. Here's another question, and this is a really interesting question here. How do you draw the line between people being too sensitive and actually racist?
Okay, yeah. I also remember that question, and then he said as well, does it depend on the
Individual itself.
the
Okay.
receiving individual.
Okay.
So I guess how you draw the line is in the sense that if you're too sensitive, if like the thing is very general, like, in the sense that I can't think of an example for a general one, but okay, for being racist, in the sense that okay, like something that I've encountered is getting into campus at night, right? Yeah.
okay.
Okay. So imagine like a car with locals and a car with international students. The car with locals have it much easier, and they can just like pass by through, you know, say, hey, khabar, assalamualaikum, kita pergi makan tadi, and we went to eat, you know, and just say, and then done.
Going. Okay.
Yeah. But I've been in a situation where I'm in a car with internationals, and it's much harder for us to enter,
that's true.
honestly. Yeah.
So many questions
I guess
asked.
in that situation, you can
have to say-
clearly see the line, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not being too sensitive. Honestly, it's not about being too sensitive. It's so obvious that that car went in, you know?
And this car is
got
stuck.
stopped because what other reason? You know, we have our metric cars. We were early. We didn't pass. It wasn't past the curfew. So yeah,
I have to
very
say,
clear line.
I have to say this has happened to me.
Yeah,
as well.
everyone, I think we all have experienced this, like
Yeah.
getting in.
See, that's another example of Malay being racist to another Malay. I'm sad.
Do you usually get like?
I get
Profile
stopped more
differently?
often than other Malays.
Okay,
So yeah,
I feel you.
exactly.
I was going to say something, but it's
You
slipped my
forgot.
head. Yeah, it slipped my mind. I'm not so sure what was it. It was I think about
Car.
no, it wasn't about the car. It was about I think it was about you being
A Malay?
no, not like how are you treated? I guess
Differently.
exactly,
Oh, yeah.
because like you know you're mixed Malay. You're mixed Malay, right?
I would say that. Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter, but I'm Malaysian. That's
Yes.
what.
Okay. I agree with you. Okay, she's Malaysian, guys. I apologize. So
yeah, I do get treated differently.
like when you go to like what's it called
Shops.
no, not shops, governmental institutions.
Okay. Governmental institution
Like when you go, like I don't know, to get your iCard. Sorry, not iCard. That's for us.
My
Your
card.
IC, my card. Yeah. when
Yeah,
you go-
definitely no. I won't get treated differently because I already have the IC there. With going to government offices and everything, that's another issue of racism, guys. Trust me, you do not want to see what's going on there, you know,
Oh, that
because again, it goes back to the races in Malaysia, you know, that type of racism
Oh, God.
between the major race we have in Malaysia. So
That's. I have to say, it's sad to hear.
yes,
Like
very,
we're going to
very
get to the point of the Islamic perspective, guys, but after we have a small break and we'll be right back, inshallah.
See ya.
Okay, we are back. Assalamu alaikum, everyone, once again. This is going to be our last bit of the night. In this part, we're just going to talk, briefly about the Islamic perspective, or I'm going to be talking to you a little bit briefly about the Islamic perspective. This is the International Islamic University of Malaysia, guys. So, in Islam has always been, a religion of justice and equality. Okay,
Yes.
it's always said, and I'm going to. I'm not very sure if it's an hadith or an ayah, but there is this phrase here, لا فرق بين عربي ولا أعجمي إلا بالتقوى, which basically translates to, there is no difference between an Arab and a non-Arab except with taqwa. What matters is, as Muslims, is not the color of our skin or where we're from or any of that. It's just matters of how good how good we are as Muslims.
Yeah, true.
And also in the Quran, another ayah is وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ قُبُولًا شُعُوبًا استغفر وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا. This is a very important ayah. It's talking about how we should be more integrated and people should learn from one another, interact with one another, be friends with one another, marry from one another. We're not different.
Yeah.
We're like, we are different, but our differences shouldn't be a problem. It should be what makes us more unique and appreciate each other better.
Exactly.
And with that, guys, we come to the end of our first, of my first radio, of my first radio show.
Yeah.
And yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in. And don't forget to check out our next show, and please hit me up on Instagram or WhatsApp on what the next show you guys want it to be. And it can be a different idea, or it can be fun. It doesn't have to be a serious topic. Like whatever you guys want, just hit me up, and then we're going to have you. Maybe we're going to have you specifically, whoever said that idea, on our in our next show. And that's all. Thank you so much for tuning in. And assalamu alaikum.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.